Give me 3 seconds here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I should be recording. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Am I recording? I hope so.
It's fine.
Anyhow,
I've got.
yeah. Hey, everybody. Crypto Mentor 99. It is July. It is a great day. And many of you know I've been having multiple interactions with everybody with my videos about crypto market structure. I've got Jay on the call. He's going to go over Litecoin. And yeah, we couldn't be happier. Every crypto mentor needs a crypto mentor. And Jay, unashamedly, is my crypto mentor. Jay, take it away. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, John. Yeah, I'm really humbled by your statement over there. So I think this is more around a discussion. Yeah, a discussion between both of us, because I think, John, you have been an investor in Litecoin for quite a while. So I'm keen to get some input from you in this space, and then we will, we'll do a little bit of discussion. It's not just purely technical stuff. Well, that is interesting.
Hey, Jay, I'm not going to go back and say what I just said again, but I think you need to give me permission to record.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. You know, and you probably know I'm pretty easy on this stuff, so you have all my full permission to share.
Okay, sure. Okay.
However you want.
Sure. So
wherever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my Litecoin story, and I'm sticking to it. So
Okay.
It was early March, the first week of March 2017. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I just find out about cryptocurrencies. I can't sleep at night. Again, I don't live out there, but I was visiting. It was like 3 days out in Albuquerque, and every time I got back to the hotel room, I was looking up Ripple. I first saw Ripple at 0.00625. I first saw Litecoin at $3.82, and I said, that's a lot for Litecoin. I got excited about so many projects that I had no clue what it was about, but I remember Litecoin, and I'm like, well, I'm hearing from people a lot smarter than me that, Bitcoin's like the grandfather and Litecoin is like the dad or the uncle or something. So, and then I, joined some exchanges, and really every day I try to learn a little bit more. I'm not a technical person, but I just love learning from people, seriously, Jay, like yourself, because I never want to be, even in life, I never want to be the smartest guy in the room, nor the funniest. So, we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So I like to think I do twice as much listening as I do speaking, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah. And that's great. I think we'll have a great discussion on that. And it's wonderful. I think at the time, you were saying that there were a lot of coins, but in today's crypto market, I suppose they are way like in a matter of, maybe a few more zero number of projects than those days, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So imagine even those days, there were so many projects. Today it's just ridiculous. So that's interesting, looking at, like you say, XRP at 0.00625 cents those days.
Those numbers are just etched in my mind. I just, because I didn't buy back then, but I remember the prices.
That's great. So we will sort of run through some of these points, a little bit about the fundamentals. I think you touched on that, Mike, a little bit, and we'll go a little bit more. Look at what the last cycle could teach us. Look at the full forecast that I have, and how are we going to play this? Knowing how Litecoin will turn up. So it's an interesting project, at least technically as well, which we'll get into. So why don't we start off with that? Now, I do know Charlie, well, I don't know Charlie Lee personally, but when I started looking around, BTC, obviously Litecoin is very closely associated with BTC, because Charlie just made it faster. And those days, I'm sure everyone will have to go through Litecoin to understand the overall market, crypto market. Um, so maybe, John, is there a certain part about Litecoin that you find it interesting at the time when you look at it? Yeah.
Well, in my as a young yes and no. So as a younger man, I was in sales,
All right.
and I like to think that I was made to. I can read people pretty well.
Mm,
I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not like I haven't gone through any classes or
sure.
anything. But
Sure.
as soon as I saw Charlie Lee, I said, I don't know who this young guy is, but he just seems so. I always go for the person. I'm a people person,
Hmm.
and maybe all the other technical stuff. I mean it's important, but I put a little bit down on the priority list.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw Charlie, I mean not like in person, but like on YouTube,
Hmm.
I said,
Yeah.
man, this guy's authentic. He's
Yeah.
believable. I
Yeah.
don't understand 85% of what this guy's saying, but there's
Hmm.
something in me that just resonates.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't the code, it wasn't, the logo. It was just, I believe in the leader, therefore I'm going to believe in the project. And I'm even that
Right.
way, like in life. It's like sometimes I
Yeah.
do short little interviews with on my YouTube
Hmm.
channel with some crypto people, and I don't say this, obviously
Hmm.
to their face, but I'm just like, they're putting out a front, they're kind of phony, but I want to finish
Mm,
the interview. But Charlie just seemed like, he talked about his mother, he talked about his brother, and
yeah.
I'm like, what crypto guy does that? Answer,
Mm,
Charlie Lee does it. So again,
that's
maybe
true.
the answer everyone's looking for, but I look at the
Mm,
people in the
yeah.
project, and
Yeah.
they don't need to be angels or saints, but if I can connect with you and believe in you, that goes a long way with me.
Mm, yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's me.
That's true. I mean, I absolutely concur with you on that point when, I was listening to Charlie Lee, how down to earth he is. And
Yes, sir. Right.
yeah, I mean, if you come from MIT, I mean, you got to be some smart guy. And
Yes.
um, so I think that's a big deal, which is good. And also there are two websites which I think represents. I'm not sure if one of them is a personal one. Well, let me see. Where's the website? Yeah, so I think there are two websites that people can go through.
Okay.
Um, and one is this .org, which I think it's maybe in relation to his foundation.
Yeah.
And the other one would be more around the commercial side of things. Yeah. Good things is I think they have a wallet, I think, which they have designed, a crypto wallet. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, so that would be a interesting project. Has been around those days. And when I look at it, one of the things that Charlie Lee speaks a lot, I think, is how it relates to BTC,
Yes.
Bitcoin. Yeah, where he calls Bitcoin, digital gold, and Litecoin is digital silver. Um, and I think that's an interesting positioning of how he looks at Litecoin. Obviously, he made it faster, and he thinks basically it's a store of value, relative to the real world where we have gold and silver. In the world of a digital crypto, we have BTC and Litecoin. So, any view around some of this positioning that resonates with you?
Say that again a different way, Jay. What do you mean?
Yeah, is does the digital gold and digital silver mean anything to you from what Charlie Lee is talking about? Um, Yeah. Do you see it that way, or do you see Litecoin in a different
No.
light?
Right, right. So I totally, again, no one's ever asked my opinion about this, so I appreciate you
Mm,
asking. Yeah,
mm,
again, I can't get into the technicals and the coding, but yeah, I feel just from being around since early 2017, which granted doesn't make me a veteran,
mm.
but that and that's one of the reasons that I was attracted to Litecoin and Bitcoin as well. It's like I
Right.
like Litecoin because it was, for lack of a better word, the first guy on the block, and
Mm,
Litecoin as it's kind of like a family member, for lack of a better word. So
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've heard some people say over the years that at some time, in fact, maybe I'll just ask you, Jay, officially,
Mm,
do
yeah.
you ever see in the same way that the ratio of gold to silver, do you actually, or would you ever imagine a world where that would be the same with Bitcoin and Litecoin?
Yeah.
Or no?
So yeah, one of my opinion is the concept of digital gold doesn't quite make sense to start off with.
Okay,
And I think this is an important point in relation to gold.
sure.
Between gold and the world of crypto, for me, there is a relationship that I haven't heard people talking about, but this is just my thinking.
Sure.
That the reason why gold and metals, I've come from trading the commodities, gold and metal especially, and I come to an appreciation where, I used to work in factories, Motorola. This is going back many years now. um, and I would be using, 99.99% gold threading into a machine, in Motorola, where we call it wire bonding, and we would be producing integrated chips, using almost pure gold. Um, and it just gives you an appreciation of what the metals is helping, humans, through digital electronics circuits, helping us live easier in our life. So for me, gold, it's not just an asset where it has value, but it allows conductivity of integrated circuits where it enables the digital world to exist. Right? And this is how, for me, gold and crypto and the world of digital is related. That the gold is the foundation, is the physical foundation to enable electrical conductivity, and
Hmm.
hence the programming layers on top of this level of gold.
Okay.
So for me, that's what gold is, and by default, it is enabling the digital world. So to say that BTC is a digital gold, well, does BTC enables conductivity and programming? I'm not sure. I think gold does that. So
Sure.
that's how I look at it. And not sure about the idea of digital gold. I think BTC do store value, um, just like silver, but the application, I think, in enabling further programming of a crypto, it needs to be. I think that is done by the newer version of crypto now. So I think BTC is a little bit older version one in terms of the
Okay.
world of technology, where now you can see, the smart contracts, that's coming in on the various projects, and how smart some of those coins can be. I think those are really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I thought that was an important point. But anyway, that's how I think. I think from a marketing point of view, Charlie Lee is smart that he, like a lot of us would know, and especially you, John, coming from sales, it is not just how good the product is sometimes, it is how good the marketing and sales, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think sometimes people underscore that point on the importance of sales and marketing. And I think Charlie Lee does it very well for Litecoin.
Hmm.
So I think that's some good plus, from the founder himself. Yeah. Anything else do you want to add just to provide a story, a narrative to the Litecoin that you come through the last few years?
Nothing comes to mind other than the fact that, I mean, every time I see Charlie Lee interviewed, again, I'm going back to the personality. I mean, he's
Yeah.
so patient and tender and kind with the way he answers the same question 10 million
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if that guy can answer that question 10 million times,
Yeah.
I mean, that
And
just speaks volumes to me of integrity and value.
yeah. Compared to the other characters that people, in the world of crypto, where they are so, in a way, arrogant, maybe, right? Sometimes the other characters
Yes.
are much more interesting.
Yes.
And we know who they are. So, but anyway, no names here. That's fine. We don't have to name names. But that's all good. Okay. All right, fantastic. So we will go through the last cycle. So this would be the last cycle of what we went through. And I've obviously done this just out of interest of time. And I will go through the actual chart as well here. So you were saying those days, what, 350, John? Wow,
Oh,
350.
Albuquerque, New Mexico, March 2017, March 4th. It was like $3.82.
2017, yeah. Yeah, wow. Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's
that's a lot for Litecoin.
those days, yeah.
That's
So,
expensive.
so yeah. So I think people needs to, every time you look at a price, people say, "Oh, that's really expensive." Um, I've heard that so many times. Like
Right.
everyone gives that to me, like, "Oh, look, XRP. You mean XRP? Yeah, $50 is wow. That's really expensive." And I say, how about Bitcoin at $200,000 per Bitcoin? And they like, interesting. So I think people need to calibrate, the value. And a lot of times you can't just look at the value and say, oh, it's expensive. Well, it is expensive to some of us, but you have to put it, I think, in context against what other projects are, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
then you will get a
Absolutely.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you get a better sense from that angle. So that's really interesting. So you would saw $3.50 back then, and then see Litecoin shooting up from there, all the way to 300, almost 350 here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
$350 here. Wow. So you have a bag those days. You would have bought a bag at what, 350? Is that right?
Yeah, you know what? Full disclosure, I bought it 350 and I bought it all the way to the top. So I
Okay.
have no
Wow.
idea. I should know this. I'm embarrassed. I have no
That's
idea
fine.
what my cost average is.
Yeah, that's okay. Because the way the mentality I think those days people have is, well, just keep buying. It'll just keep going up, right? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about averages, guys. Just keep buying. You'll be fine.
Right. You'll be fine.
Um, yeah. And did you you obviously see it coming down all the way to double figures again.
Well, that's kind
Yeah.
of part of my story. The scary thing is my portfolio, and I mean, I talk about this a little bit on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
This was not a fun time for me when Bitcoin ran up because
Mm,
and I'm being fully honest, my portfolio went, uh, again, I'm not a mathematician, roughly did a
sure.
15 to 18x,
Yeah.
and it scared the heck out of me because I
Mm,
had no idea what I was buying, why I was buying. All I knew is once a week when I checked my account, it was
yeah.
like going through the roof. and
Mm.
I would say that this is Crypto Mentor 99. Look at this. She's like, what are you doing? Is this legal? I'm like, yeah, but it's like a rocket ship, and I'm just
Mm.
hanging on. And then I watched it go all the way down. So I'm like,
Mm.
that's not going to happen. I got to join a trading group. I got to get a
Mm.
hold of Jay, my crypto mentor.
Okay, that's great. That's an advertisement, guys. It's a 10-second advertisement.
Oh my God. It's not
that's
going to
that's
happen
all
again.
good.
I'm too old for the next
Yeah,
run. I got to get out, I got to get going.
I know what you're saying. So yeah, we'll get everyone's back on that. Your analogy on rocket ship is pretty accurate because if you look at this push, um, it's really amazing. I mean, you would have gone through that, and it would be. So when you say you couldn't sleep, I can
I couldn't sleep.
imagine. Yeah, yeah. They're like, oh wow, this is crazy. Like how does it do that? Yes. So that's the nature, I think, of crypto. That it will come back down significantly. And just to look at how much it retraced, 92% from the top.
Oh gosh.
So
Okay.
so that's some serious retracement or correction. That all crypto traders would, all investors, would need to learn that, at those days, even Litecoin, which is a great project, would suffer, right?
Mm-hmm.
This amount of correction. So we see this not just in Litecoin, but obviously even in XRP, in all the coins, all coins that that we have here. So that's important. Yeah, that people would need to make sure you have your exit strategy. Yep. So the importance of exit strategy.
All I
That,
had was a buy strategy.
yeah. Well, even in business, right? So as a consultant, in business, the way sometimes people go into a business, they don't see the end game, and I
Right.
sometimes ask people, what's your end game, right? I mean, are you just going to run this until the wheel comes off and then you die and that's it, right? No, right? I mean, everything has an end game, just like life. There is a beginning, there's an end, and you need to understand where you're going and how it ends, and cash out or exit, right? So the same with crypto. It has an ending point, and hopefully people get that. And I think that's what we're trying to show here, where I think it will end, and hopefully you would be able to get out before the whole thing crashes again.
Hey Jay, can I
So
just add one
yeah.
one quick comment? That
Hmm.
again, I'm not trying to be long-winded. I'm trying to help the people that are listening. One
Yeah.
of the things that you've taught me that you don't even know that you taught me,
Hmm.
but I'm not married to any one crypto project anymore. And I don't want to
Hmm.
start naming all the ones that I've invested in, but
Right.
I'm a pretty loyal person. If you knew me
Hmm.
in my real life, like I'm loyal, I'm
Yeah.
trustworthy. I like to
Yeah.
do favors for my friends and
Hmm.
go, surprise them at their birthdays. And anyhow,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I was too loyal to my crypto investments in 2017, 18.
Yeah.
And I'm not a bloodthirsty guy that just wants money. I believe in technology. It's going to change the world.
Hmm.
That's just a given. But
Yeah.
your strategy, for lack of a better word, I'm not
Hmm.
going to be married to a project just
Yeah.
because maybe that was my first investment back in the day,
Hmm.
or I like the leader or whatever. I'm just here to, again, follow the rotation. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not going to lie, make some bucks and save some, give it away, enjoy some, and give some to the grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. It's business, guys. End of the day, investment is a form of a business, and it's fine to have some loyalty and emotions, but just make sure that loyalty and emotion is checked against the numbers. I think that's a really critical point. If not, just like if we really understand that, not just in crypto but the entire financial market, it's all about rotation. It's all about where it's cheap, where it's dear, where it's high. If it's high, sell off, go
Yeah.
buy something cheaper. It's all rotations, and that's just fundamentally it. And there's no difference here in crypto. No doubt the project's fundamental is important, but that's just a tick in the box. It's not the only tick in the box, that you become loyal. This is going to change. Yeah, it's going to change the world, but financially, you need to take care of yourself. So understand that point that John just raised. So fantastic point. Yeah. All right. So what did Litecoin teach us? We'll have a look. And what I like to do is also try to frame it up against XRP. And again, people ask why XRP and why not others. For me, XRP just got a clear moonshot. So it is sort of a ruler, a compass, a way to measure where things are. That's just how it is. It's a clearer way compared to Ethereum and Bitcoin. So for me, I like to use that. So that's why you have, I call it the concept of XRP as a compass, where we know where the 2016, 17 moonshots are for XRP. So if we line them up, XRP's moonshot against Litecoin, we would be able to see, where, Litecoin's moonshot develops or how it develops. So you can see that XRP's moonshot here is really small. You can't really see on XRP because it's on a different scale. But in my deep dive, you guys would understand, that would be a moonshot 1, and it correlates to this point over here in Litecoin. And for the second moonshot, it's around there. So even with the first moonshot, once we identify, we know where the baseline is. The baseline is here, which is the second higher low. If you do if you take the box and just stack them up, which we teach in our website, it pretty much again lines up very nicely to showcase how the moonshot develops. But I would like to highlight, some of the things that happens in moonshot 1. It's really slow, and you can see it starts to push up really nicely, and like using John's word, it starts to rocket up. And even in you look at the correction at the end of the moonshot 1, it is relatively faster than XRP. If you look at XRP, it's longer down there, but it's a little bit much more volatile for Litecoin, and then it shoots up again, which is a strong push here, and it becomes volatile all the way to the end of a moonshot 2. And typically at the end of moonshot 2, things become volatile or it flattens, which we see over here. It flattens, and this is what we call ranging days before it fires off to complete the last moonshot. So the attribute that we learned back in 2016, 17, I think, is it can move really fast. So sort of like XRP, the first 2 moonshots, it moves really fast. Obviously, XRP is much faster. And then it becomes volatile, halfway through moonshot 2 all the way to beginning of moonshot 3. That's what it did the last time. Yeah, when you gone through this volatility, John, were you did you have doubt when it sort of went up crazily and came down crazily?
I couldn't sleep for 5 months. Yes, it was unbelievable. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay,
it was unbelievable.
That's amazing.
I get pretty excited sometimes. This was worse than a roller coaster ride.
Wow.
But now I'm used to it. So bring on the volatility now.
Yeah, I think with market structure, we just know how things are going to play out. So you would know, John, I sleep very well, and because we know what's ahead.
I'm sleeping great these days.
Yes, well, that's one part of the reason why we have these educational sessions, so that people, your blood pressure doesn't go with the charts, right? So it's important to sleep well, to rest, and really, really to be able to function, like you are dad, are you a grandfather now
Yes, sir.
or?
Yes. 5
Okay, so
grandchildren.
yeah, you got grandchildren. So I really want people to run as their normal life. I used to have, before COVID, I would have a job, right? I have my kid, I have a family, I've got my parents. So I can't, you can't allow the market to control you. If you do, in the long term, it's not sustainable. You will give up with the market. And I want people to understand that. If you
Yeah.
can't sleep, if you're stressed out, you can't function normally as a human being because the market is getting hold of you. Trust me, it's not worth playing the game. It's really not worth, because you will lose both, not just the money, but your life, your ability to function normally. And that's just not worth it. So I want people to completely understand why the importance of anticipating what it's going to do. Okay, so you went through that, and that's what happened. So the second push is really interesting. So I just want people to know that it can be really quick. And let's see if we can bring in some context over here, looking at the push here. So I'm just going to the chart and trying to zoom in a little bit more. As we zoom in, you can see XRP is trying to come in. So you can almost see that. Well, let's bring in BTC as well. So I'm just going to bring in BTC against US dollar and put it and overlay just to show people how it moves. Okay, so you have the BTC here. Okay, so sorry, just gonna mute someone here. All right, so I got the BTC. Not sure why they have the same color, but let me see if I can change the color just to make it easier. I'll just grab the yellow color. Okay. So the BTC is yellow color and the orange should be XRP. And yeah, you can almost see Litecoin did not like being left out once the other coin starts moving. So it somewhat correlates very well with BTC, obviously, and obviously with XRP would tend to lead the push first. You can see the first moonshot here happen, and eventually, when XRP dies off and comes in search of its accumulation here, eventually they, both BTC and Litecoin caught up. And again, you can see the orange XRP push up very strongly. And again, Litecoin and BTC would catch up behind. And this is a very important attribute later on how we're going to use potentially Litecoin or BTC to ride the wave. So I think those are important points just to watch out. Yeah, is there any questions, John, around what happened 2016, 2017?
No, sir.
Yeah, I won't go
Let me
into
check
the
the chat.
technical
Is
details
there
unless
anybody in
there's
the
a
chat
question.
that has a question?
Yeah, say again.
I'm checking the chat to see if anybody
Okay,
has. No one has a question, so I'm
that's
sorry.
great. Okay, so with that understanding, we'll look at the two forecasts. So one is the first forecast towards the moonshot. And obviously it's in early days. I'm estimating the mountain to be down there. Partly because I'm expecting the moonshot to end up somewhere around 170, moonshot one that is. And why is that the case? One is historically, if you look at where it ends on the moonshot one, it ends, on this peak, just after this peak over here. And historically, compared to where we are now, I think you end somewhere around here. So this would be a nominal case where if BTC is to track if Litecoin is to track BTC and XRP, we should be able to see Litecoin pushing into the Moonshot 1 territory, starting gradually, and just like the last time, it would explode up. So I would expect that to happen over here. So we'll see how far it will push. Now we will probably know better once Litecoin completes its Slingshot 1. Now note that Litecoin is still early in the stage. So let me go back into my chart here.
So Jay, would this be like fourth quarter of this year then?
It definitely will track against against XRP. So if the question is it going to finish Moonshot by the end of the year? Okay, so hang on. Did you say which quarter? The third or the fourth?
The fourth.
Okay, so the end of the year. By the end of the year, I'm seeing XRP to complete Moonshot 1. And with that, Litecoin should complete its Moonshot 1, if not on January 2021. So again, Litecoin may be slightly behind, but it should pick it up.
Sure.
Now
Okay.
a good case would be potentially XRP finish much earlier, and Litecoin will still finish somewhere in end of November, December. So
for the new people, Jay, for the new people that might be listening, that's the beauty of being involved with the training group, and you update everybody on WhatsApp really well, correct?
Yeah, we try to do that, so that you get a heads up, and so that there are no surprises too, so that you can sleep better, right? You can see how all these link together. So like the Cardano trade that we called a few days ago, 2 days ago, get out at this price, right? So that's, we can see Cardano coming down right now. So you can see it ahead of time. There's no magic there, and that's why we try to get people prepared ahead, because we have right now 90 members now. So we like to give people heads up early, because they don't necessarily check their WhatsApp. We want to make sure a week ahead you are being told, so that you are prepared, right, for the next week. So that's important. Yeah. So so from a timing point of view, that's a great question. That we are seeing this to play out. So remember, the first thing that needs to play out is a break against the mountain, which is the slingshot. So let's look at where potentially where the slingshot is. So let me take out XRP. So this would be Litecoin currently. So this would be the level that I'm seeing here. That it's important to break, right? And then from here, once it breaks this level here, we will check against XRP and see what is XRP telling us about this level. And hopefully Litecoin will track well to then continue to push up into the next level here. So that will be the next level, right? Yeah. So that's where we think where the moonshot is going to end up. Right. So that's that, which is what I have here. In the pack. So those of you who doesn't have the pack, you can, we'll obviously attach it so that you guys can print it out, stick it onto your wall so that you remember. And obviously we'll update, with a much more accurate once it breaks the slingshot. So that's what I'm seeing over here. So that's what I say here. Forecast is conservative and needs to validate against XRP as a compass. So we'll see. Obviously, XRP hasn't done the slingshot as well. So we want to see how it works out, right, for the slingshot. Now, the mountain may be up there for even for Litecoin. So we'll have to check against XRP at this point. So I've got it down there at this point, but we'll see. Again, I think it's going to be here. All right. If there are questions technically from our members, this is we can run a different session just to explain more about the technical aspect. So hang in there. Once we got the moonshot, which is around 170, we can project all the way up to where it is. So this would be a full forecast for Litecoin. Yeah. So I'm seeing $2,000, conservatively at this point. So that looks like a good area to end. If you look at how the trajectory is going to be, it's going to break up here, come back down, push up and break all-time high on the moonshot 2. There will be a ranging market just above all-time high, and then a final push up into the 2000 area. So this would be a close repeat of what happened back in 2016, 2017. You can see a push up into moonshot 1. Moonshot 2 breaks the all-time high, try to hold on, fake down so that people get lose their sleep and sell off, and then make a final push up, to this point. So you can see that would be a nominal trajectory for the entire forecast. Again, we will just have to validate with some precise numbers once some of this price starts printing out. So $2,000 would be a good estimate at this point.
Sounds good to me.
That sounds good. Okay, John's liking it. I'm liking it.
No complaints.
Yeah, no complaints. All right. So some of you asked, yeah.
I've got a question. I mean, from Mass Awake.
Yeah.
And I obviously it's related to Litecoin. It says, so only certain coins run on this moonshot structure. So only certain coins run on the moonshot structure.
Yeah, the answer is the model applies to all mature coins. So when we talk about mature coins, I'm talking about coins that has shown, a full cycle, right? Now, some of you know that there are relatively new coins that came out just last year or 2 years ago that we can't see, a full cycle. Let me see if I've got an example, okay, of a, yeah, let me see if there's one. Anyone's got a good, let's see. Any new project that we know? Anyone? Yeah. John, do you know any new project?
Well, I don't know if it's new, and I don't want to get off on a tangent, but someone's asking if you're going to go over Streamer or data on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to go through data on Saturday, but even data has relatively good structure. You can see if I go to a day, and if I zoom out, so if I go on a log scale, for example, so you can see an almost complete. Now, I won't necessarily say it's a complete set because we don't know what's before this. So data is relatively new, but it's still not too bad. You can still see, okay, there's some structure here. I can forecast this. But imagine if you only have a new coin that has, say, this piece, right? If you only have something like this piece, then it becomes harder to try to forecast. So that's the answer from me. Is if the data is available and the patterns and fractals are there, and that's why we like to look at older coins and much more mature coins like Digibyte. VeChain, for example, one of the initial reasons I did not like is because there's a break here when the coin change its fundamentals. So in those cases, then it becomes harder for us to forecast. Right. The reason why some of you went into VeChain, that's great. You guys made a lot of money. I didn't. Right. I did not go into VeChain. It's because I can't forecast well in VeChain, right? Because of this break over here. So it's important to make sure we've got enough data and we don't have too much of these noises and disruption in the chart so that we can forecast well. So yeah, the answer is yes. You should be able to, like I say, I come from, the Forex and commodities. You can apply it over there as well. But it's much more easier, I think, in the world of crypto. So do you think that's a good answer, John?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we will continue on. And yeah, $2,000. So in summary, this is what I think we will see, potentially all-time high $2,000 pending validation. But I think it's a fair assessment at this point. What is it? Based on the current price, $45. So you have about 44x potential here going up into $2,000. Yeah, pretty decent. You know, for me, BTC is somewhere around there. BTC may have 30x, which from now, what now? Say $9,000 for BTC. I'm looking at maybe 250K all-time high, the new all-time high for BTC. So we'll see. But you can see they have relatively decent gains if you like some of these coins. So I would think Litecoin may be a better investment potentially against Bitcoin, if you ask me. Why? Well, Bitcoin is the heaviest coin we have in the entire market market cap. So so there you go. So I am also encouraged by the recent movement against XRP. Now, some of you know I'm using XRP again as a compass, but it's also now as a clock, right? Because by the time XRP completes its moonshot, we should be exiting everything, right? We should be exiting because it means we run out of time, guys. So this is an important concept. We need to know when the clock ends. And if you're still playing when the clock ends, well, you're moving into the bear territory. So when the recent push that we saw the last few days by XRP, if Litecoin follows. So this is the chart that shows the two push that XRP did and Litecoin did something similar. Now it is a slightly weaker push on the second one, but we can see Litecoin is trying to track against the XRP clock, which is a good thing, right? So for those of you who ask, like, why don't I look at other coins? When I say the other coins are not serious, what I meant is if XRP clock has started and the other coins aren't showing a response of pushing up, then you need to be concerned. Like, hey, are these guys ever going to move? Right? Because when the clock starts, you got to move. Right. Because if you don't move, I'm concerned. Yeah, John, you get that idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's how we evaluate coins that are serious. Now, the serious coins for us are the high velocity coins. In other words, even before XRP starts, these coins are already on moon path heading into moonshot. So we know what those coins are. That's why we invest in those coins, because those coins are telling us, I am serious. I'm so serious, I'm now ahead, just like Link, just like VeChain, right? So these are serious coins that we invest in. So that's important to take note. So Litecoin, I think, has shown encouraging signs of tracking against XRP recently, again, which is something that is positive. So a reminder of the attributes that Moonshot 2 has. So the way it's going to play into our 1000x game plan is I can see Litecoin and Bitcoin's lag can be a good thing. because by the time XRP completed its moonshot 2, we know Bitcoin and Litecoin will be lagging behind. We will exit and come ride Bitcoin or Litecoin.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I'm seeing this playing out. Like John loves Litecoin, you know. I like Litecoin as well to a certain degree, and it's up to you, your preference, right? It's up to your preference which one you prefer. So this is how I see it playing together with the 1000x game plan. Is it clear, John, on all this stuff?
Yes, I love it. I could talk to you. If I was your neighbor, I would keep you up 24 hours a day asking you questions. But no, this is, again, I benefit. It sounds like I'm doing a commercial for you, but no, I appreciate your skill set, your simple explanations. I'm a simple guy, and really this training group is the best thing that I've ran into since March of 2017. It really is.
That's great. That's great. I don't do a lot of fluff. I'll just tell people I don't do fluff. Like you, John, I'm a straight shooter. I'm not the young guy these days, but I'm not too old. But being in the background of being consulting, I tell people right up front what I see, because you have to deal with the truth or something that is close to it. So in the world of investing, if we do not deal with the truth, if we do not understand the risk, it can come back and bite us, and it's very dangerous if that happens. So that is why I'm completely transparent, so that you guys know what's the risk ahead. So the risk for Litecoin is it's lagging behind. So if it's not pushing too much, okay, let me just give you a view here that I share with you. Really useful, I think. Let me compare against Bitcoin, just to give you guys a view, right, of the risk Litecoin is facing. So this fractal here, or pattern, you want to call it, just pre-2017, 2016. You can see the 3 spikes up there against Bitcoin. And the reason why these 3 spikes over here. Now, my concerning aspects of Litecoin is it seemed to be getting weaker against Bitcoin. So the next push up might be a little bit lower, right? Maybe just a little against Bitcoin. Now I hope to see, hopefully it will be better. If there's strength, it will push up against into this level, but we'll see. But this is my concern around Litecoin measurement against Bitcoin. So I think it tells a story that maybe Litecoin needs some form of a fundamental push or improvement to show to the public, the project is progressing much more. So so that is some form of a risk against Bitcoin that I see. Does it make sense, John, on all this?
Absolutely, yes. Clear as mud. Yeah, we say in the United States, clear as mud. No, good. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So I think that's the full story from me in Litecoin. Again, I do, it's tied in very closely with Bitcoin. So I do see this pushing up into $2,000 when Bitcoin hits, it's 200K. And I think it will do relatively better against Bitcoin against fiat, point of view. So, but against Bitcoin, it seemed like it may be losing some steam, but that's okay, depending on how you want to trade this. So from our point of view, in summary, we may use this. Some of us will be using Litecoin to ride it out, especially during the 6-month ranging period that I spoke about over here, the ranging market at the end of the second moonshot. On XRP especially, remember XRP may be faster, and if Litecoin is behind, we will exit XRP and move it over to Litecoin. So that would be a good play for some of us. Okay. We'll start opening up questions from everyone. So if you would like to unmute yourself, or John, if you got something in your mind, we can deal with the Q&A.
Well, can I ask you just one selfish question that I think might benefit everybody, and then I'll get to there's one question into the chat. So I believe in what you're saying. It's still new to me. I'm a student. You're my crypto mentor. What would you say to me and others that might have the following question or a version of the following question? You did a video, and I forget which one, to be honest with you, but you said basically you've got 50%, your portfolio, for lack of a better word, is like 50% XRP and 50% in some of the driver or rotation coins. So my question to you is, like, I've got 3 or 4 of these, no, 4. So again, not financial advice, but like when you give the signal or the information about XTC, okay, like there's a part of me that says, man, I'll do what Jay says, but I only want to do 50%. I only want to do 50% of my Zinfin, or you know what? When he gives me the information for Digibyte, I like the guy. I don't really know him. Maybe I'll do 25% of my Digibyte. So again, whether someone has $1 or $1 million, I mean, could you just speak however you want to answer that? Like when you give the call, like, I mean, again, I'm not a 6-figure investor. I'm getting close to it, and I'm just like, man, I want to cash in, but maybe I'll just do the slightly conservative route and just maybe go in 50, 75% and see how it works out. I mean, I'm happy. Again, don't misunderstand me. I'm happy with everything that I've learned, and even my portfolio in the past 3 weeks is way up. So could you just speak to me about that, please?
It's a question I get from the investors.
Okay.
And this has to deal with your preference and your understanding of what I call the benchmark. So when I use XRP on the left side, which has itself in a 50% split, for example, again, I call this a benchmark. A benchmark is like a ruler. Think about it that way. So I know what I'm getting from XRP because I know it inside out, right? In terms of the market structure.
Right.
So for me, that's a strong measurement against, right? So now, if you know Litecoin, if you know DGB really well in terms of the market structure, and you know exactly how you're going to play out or close to it, then you can change that, right? You can change that to DGB, and that's cool. If you like it, that's cool, right? I'm just saying this needs to be your benchmark. It needs to be something that you are comfortable, that you know now, because the other coins here, we will be using to try to beat your benchmark.
Yes.
Right? That's the name of the game. And now, I'm not asking you to get all these 9 coins here. I'm just saying these are options, right? Go study, go read, and based on your preference, you would select. And some of you would know that I've got, I got Kyber. There's quite a few Digibytes in and I got ZIL. So those are some of my bigger bags over here. Now, then I'm going to play the high velocity coins to beat right? In my case here, my XRP.
Yes,
Can I
sir.
beat my XRP? So that's the game plan. That's the name of the game here. So you need to know what I'm saying. You need to know your left side, which is, what's your benchmark,
Right.
and you
Okay.
can change it, and that's fine to whatever preference. So some of our investors is big on Digibyte. Some of them are big on VeChain. For me,
Okay.
that's cool. That's all right. So long as you play the game of trying to beat your benchmark, that's good enough.
Sure. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I've
Is
got a
that is that
question.
clear? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I've got a question. Oh, the question, it was just a comment. It says, great listening to you. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I thought that there was a question. Okay.
Right. Fantastic. All right. Let's see if anyone else got a question. You can speak up if you want. Unmute yourself first. Yes. We got over 20 people here, so that's good. Yes. Anyone else? Questions? Yeah, we are more educational while we help out, the trading side as you go along. So do spend time going through the videos. I know it's very hard to learn initially. I went through that process, and it does take time. And just be, I think in the early stage here, you just got to decide how far you got to go with the learning. And I completely understand not everyone is technical, but if you can just understand our common language around slingshot, moonshot 1, 2, and 3, and some of the patterns in there, that might be enough. Now, those of you who are much more technically sound, who want to learn how to do all of this, and that's great as well, right? So go ahead and send me your homework, and we can chat about this. It's a process. It's a learning process, and that's what we're going through. Okay. No one has a question. Yes.
Yeah, I don't see
So
another chat, Jay.
okay, we got Edward. Edward, you've got something going on, Edward.
I do. I have a question for you. I'm new to the group, and I'd like to thank John for. I've been following John for a couple of years now, and and I associate with him because I think we're the same age. I've been in
Mm-hmm.
for a while, and
Yeah.
just watching him, I watched my portfolio go way up, and then I watched it way down. So when John about 3 weeks ago he was talking about your group, I definitely related to it. So I joined this week. So I'm learning. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I do have a question as far as recently I just liquidated a few, and so I'm sitting in some cash right now. And I guess my question is for the next moonshot, do you see like Digibyte being next or XRP? I just actually got rid of Digibyte. I bought it back in March, so I had a really good profit on it. And now after listening to you, it's like maybe I should buy it back because I was actually anticipating the market to go down a little bit now.
All right. That's good. That's a good newbie question. A lot of times I get that, which is you just join and you say, hey, which one should I position myself? Now, John has been here for 2 weeks now, I think. So I think, John, you should be able to answer this question, isn't it, John? Which coin
Well,
are we?
well, I'll answer
Yeah.
it the way, I'll answer it the way I would do it, which again, not
Yeah.
financial advice. The more I listen to Jay, I'm more or less, again, these projects are going to go up and it drives me absolutely crazy for me to sell. So I think I'm actually going to buy more XRP tomorrow, and then I'm done with XRP. I'm going to ride XRP until, the ninth inning, if you will.
Yeah.
And I just bought, again, a fairly sizable amount of Digibyte at like 0191. And when it runs up a little bit, I'll probably sell 20%. So I would maybe, if you want like more bang for your buck in the short term, I would, again, not financial advice, I'd go all in on Digibyte, and then when it goes up a little bit, or as Jay gives
Yeah.
us updates, then I would decide for myself, hey, I want to get out with 2 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand profit, or whatever, but I would ride the Digibyte horse for a while. That's me.
That's good. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Okay. So which coin is on Moonshot? So Digibyte clearly is on Moonshot. ZRX is on Moonshot. VChain is already off. VChain is on the first, it went up significantly. It will still go up. Don't sell your VChain. So those of you who want to go into VChain, yeah, it's still all right. You can go in. What else? KNC. KNC is way above. It's not way above. It's done its moonshot, so you can still get into the Kyber. Of course, XDC is similar position with Kyber. So there's these projects are good, right? So those of you who are new, I would recommend that you watch. Well, let's see, which video is this? Let me just get into here. Crypto market. So those of you who are new, if you want to know, watch this Moonshots method. We describe the high velocity coins over here, right? And you would know which coins are on the high velocity. And make sure you download the pack. Not sure if I need to update this, but yeah, make sure you download the pack and know which are the high velocity coins. So go watch this, and but I just listed it just now for you. Yes.
Hey, Jay.
Very good.
May I clarify something? Someone just asked in the chat. They say, John, does it help to know when the 9th inning is? What I meant by that is I'm holding XRP until my 9th inning would be the end of the 18-month cycle, which Jay's teaching about, which give or take, again, we can't hold them to an exact month, but late 2021, early 2022.
Yeah.
Now I might have, I'm just guessing with the grandkids, I might keep 5 or 10% of everything I own, and then give it to my adult son if we go into a 2 or 3 year bear market. But I don't want to be messing around in my late 60s with Digibyte, XRP, or Coinbase. I just don't. But that's just my own personal preference.
That's it. Yeah. So all of this, remember, guys, we just share with you what we see, and everyone has their own preferences on how they want to, keep their money. So all is good. All right. Yeah. So let's see. I don't think there's any more questions. That's all good. All right. In this case, I'll just speak about the next event. So clearly we have the next event coming up tomorrow. Is that right? That's pretty soon, isn't it? So our usual
Thursday night in the United States.
Yeah.
For me? Well, day and a half, basically. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right. In a day and a half. So we have that, and I will start the U.S. friendly zone discussion next week, hopefully. I am looking at weekend. I think quite a few of you sort of prefer weekend, but we'll try a weekend. Maybe it's I don't know. I'm already doing Saturday on my side, so maybe a Sunday. We'll see if it's too much, but we'll try it out anyway. But this turnout is great. I might do this turnout, this session this time as well, because some of you do turn out quite a bit. So that will be it. This Saturday we are covering 5 coins. I don't think we have done that ever. So I will be sending out the pack today so that you guys can read it ahead and maybe have questions.
Jay, which 5?
Yeah, so we're covering Kyber, KNC, which is important. What else are we covering? VeChain. Yeah, that's an important one. Yeah. Let's see what. Yeah, see, that's a problem. Like, I've got so many things I can't remember. So let me
I mean,
see.
to put you on the spot.
Yeah, let me see. Where's my? Okay, this is it. Okay, so these are the 5: Kyber, VeChain, XDC again, OMG, and Data, because Data seem to be really interesting. Yeah. Now, I want to cover this from a high velocity and sound structure point of view. So I want to explain more around what do I mean by high velocity, right? What do I mean by sound structure? What do I see in that structure? So I want to come from that angle, a little bit more technical, but if you understand that angle, then you would understand why it's worth investing in some of these projects. Again, these are just great options for you to consider. But we know Kyber and VeChain is already doing quite well. XDC and Kyber is tightly linked. And OMG and Data, and OMG is slightly behind, but it's got great structure, and we'll talk more about it.
Hey, Jay, I've
Okay.
got one final question.
Mhm.
I don't know who it's from. I can't tell. It's from someone's iPhone. It just says,
Yeah.
does XRP decouple in the next bear market, considering it may be a bridge currency? Does XRP decouple in the next bear market, considering it may be a bridge currency?
Yeah. Well, how XRP is going to play out fundamentally, I don't know. What the market structure tells me is, so far things are moving along as normal. So will it decouple? I doubt so. Well, if you look at all types of assets or markets, they don't quite decouple. You can't run away unless fundamentally you are, you're being separated to do something else in a use case point of view, and then it will completely change the fundamentals. But at this point, I don't see it. So if the intent behind the question is, should you hold on into 4 digits? I'm not holding on to the 4 digits. Post 20, into the bear market, I'm not holding.
Yeah.
To be very clear, I do not want to hold any crypto because I know how it's going to turn out in the bear market. And John and some of you spoke just now. It's not a great experience. But John will hold some, and that's fine, right? But you shouldn't hold too much.
So, Jay, is this a true statement? And I don't know if you said it or some other guy a lot smarter than I am, that, and again, I'm just going to throw out numbers to make a point, okay?
Yeah.
Where the next run up, again, run up defined as the next 18 months,
Yeah.
again, give or take. So let's say this is 2022. Okay, let's just kind of jump ahead, make believe, just stay with me.
Yep.
So the profits, however long the next bear market's going to be, say, again, I'm just going to guess, say 2 or 3 years. So say it's 2024. And let's say Litecoin, I'm just number for illustrative purposes. Let's say Litecoin's 5,000, okay?
Right.
The gain that you're going to have in Litecoin theoretically could be Litecoin going from, again, this is just an illustration, Litecoin going up from 5,000 to 6,000, as opposed to right now, Litecoin going, if you bought it today, going from $45 to theoretically 2,000. Is that true? Like the gains after the next, again, round numbers, 2022, 2023, 2024, when the market goes down for however long, but when it goes back up, is it true that the gains, like most of the gains, will be already made in this particular bull run? Is that true?
Yeah. There is a a trend here. Now, using Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has the most data and trends, every time we see Bitcoin going into the next halving, the amount of gains it push up is lower, right? Relative to the low, I mean the beginning, relative to each beginning of the halving. You can look at the size of Bitcoin over here. This is the first halving, the size of the green box here. How tall the green box is, and you look at the second one, it sort of gets smaller or shorter. Now the third one will be even shorter, right? Now, if you look at what Litecoin did, so let's go into Litecoin's chart. All right, so if you see, it went back, I mean, from the previous cycle, it goes back up into $300, comes back down into this, this all-time high here, and stuck around there. So this is classic. Most people would get there like, okay. So we came from $3 into $44. Well, my pattern, just predicted, well, just forecast, it goes up to into thousands, whatever, sorry, however much the all-time high is. And it's going to drop back down potentially into 3 figures, right? It's going to move from 4 figures into 3 figures, maybe back down around here. And then you decide. So, we'll, we see that happening potentially in the case of a Litecoin. So your profit, up in the 4 digits, you should take that and expect it to always come back down. The same with XRP, right? Potentially XRP, say it could hit, let's say, XRP hit, $300-400. It won't hang around there, trust me. It will drop back down by, say, 90%, right? What's 90% of, say, $300, right? That's $3, yeah? Mm-hmm. So you come back down to $3. I mean, if you think about it, from 300 into 3, that's a lot of money there. You don't want to be holding on. And that's just how it is. The concept of market capital doesn't quite exist, because the concept of market cap assumes that everyone has the same value on the coin, right? So it takes the price and multiply by the volume to give you a market cap. Now, who is holding the volume there in the coins? Well, it's different people like you and me, and different people has different perception on what the value is. So to be able to apply a price across the entire volume just doesn't make sense. That is why the market cap cannot. One is, I think, fundamentally is flawed. 2 is, it won't stay, at the high side. It will come back down, and that's just how it is. So I hope that gives a little bit of an answer. John, does it sort of answer you in certain ways?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Plus, I was talking to a friend, and again, I'll just kind of end with this because I could be long-winded because I love cryptos. Let's say it's 2024, and let's say you're 30 years old. I won't be 30. Yeah. I'm 22 already. The chances of my neighbor getting excited about Litecoin at $6,000 is almost, I mean, like I could get my neighbor excited about Litecoin. I'm just picking Litecoin as an example. It's easy to get my neighbor excited about Litecoin at $45. It wasn't exciting to get my neighbor interested in Bitcoin at $15,000. So I can only imagine, fast forward, 5-7 years, to talk to your neighbor when Bitcoin's at $1 million, whatever. Litecoin, Stellar Lumens is, $459. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, not all the fun is out of it, but people's minds, it'll be hard for them to wrap their minds around it, right?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, absolutely. And that's a great point. You know, when people say, gee, I can't afford Bitcoin, you know, and I'm sure, John, you would say, you know, you can buy 0.01 the Bitcoin. You don't have to buy the full Bitcoin. Yeah, normally that would be your answer.
right,
And
but still, if Bitcoin, again,
yeah,
goofy number, if Bitcoin's $1 million, who
yeah,
wants to buy it? I mean, really?
exactly. So I'm with you. I'm with you. You know, what I'm trying to say is people don't get that they can buy part of it. They look at it and say, wow, it's really expensive. You know, just right. And they just don't understand um, you know, the math behind how you can still make money out of it. You don't have to buy the entire, yeah. So I completely get you on that one. Um, and that's why Bitcoin today is not as exciting as before,
It's
because
not as
partly
exciting.
because of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we have so many projects now, over 5,000 coins. You know, there's really a lot of exciting stuff that I can see. And so that is why, you know, I don't hold any Bitcoin. I have $10 Bitcoin because given for free, but that's pretty much it. And you know, like just any technology, it is Bitcoin was the version 1, and things has evolved significantly and will continue to evolve. So that's just how things are going to be. So that's why the summary says that even Litecoin will beat Bitcoin's return on investment, I think. Just the sheer price of Bitcoin that is making it harder, you know, for the masses to buy. And, you know, it's like what we said just now, the impression is expensive.
So Jay,
Mm.
I mean this to be funny. I mean this to be a joke. I mean,
Mm.
so let's say Litecoin, you're wrong. Let's say it's not
Yeah.
44x. Let's say it's 30x. Cry me a
Yeah.
river. I'll take 30x off the one.
Yeah, I was joking. I don't think Emil is here. Is Emil here? No, Emil is like my first customer. So Amir will listen to this and he'll get a chuckle. So Amir was showing me his portfolio. And then I forgot, you know, obviously I deal with many people's portfolio. And I forgot about his portfolio. I said, Amir, what are you doing with your Ethereum? Get rid of your Ethereum, right? And I say, Ethereum is going to give you a maximum 100x, blah, blah, blah. And we joke, we say, over here in market structure, we do 1000x. We do not do 100x, Amir. we don't do 100x. Get rid of it. Then he said, "Oh, I'm staking it." I said, "Okay, fine, that's fine." Yeah. So 1,000x. A lot of the investors say, "Hey, if you just give me 100x, that's enough, right? I don't need 1,000."
I won't be mad at you at all.
Yeah, I won't be mad at you. Yeah, it's okay. But I want us to, the 1,000x is the benchmark. We are going for it. We are, we try to push for it because, like I say, many of us do not have the next 4 years. So do not want to be around the next 4 years. So we want to make sure we do this well.
Yes.
And we want to make sure, if we are not hitting 1,000, we are hitting 500, right? Or that high numbers in the 3 digits. That's why we are here. And because once we play this well, guys, we are done, right? Some of you know, I've spoken about this. You say, Jay, what about the next cycle? I say, I may not be around the next cycle. I may be doing something else. Okay, that's point one. Point two, some of you will learn this so well, you will open up your own group and do your own stuff. Right? You no longer need me anymore. So that's why we are providing this full education. Some of you will pick this up and run. So that's great. You guys continue on with the legacy. But I just can't promise you there'll be a next round. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Sounds good to me, Jay. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, your skill set, your passion. I tell you what, as my dad would say, my hat is off to you. Thank you so much.
Hmm. Hey, it's been a pleasure. And John, it's a great session, and I enjoy it. So we will see you soon, the next 18 hours or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All right. The rest of you who are joining us, we will be signing off now, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, John.
Yeah.